This is part 2 of the spring game reaction / breakdown from your leaders and next crew. You've got Dan.
Gary.
And this time, like I said, we're talking about the defense. Now, caveat, like we said in the offensive one, it is a truth of all spring games, a universal truth that defense usually looks ahead of offense. So we did the best we could to give this reaction, a bit on a curve. That said, we are, despite losing Graham, Grant, Stewart, all draft picks, Will Johnson, draft pick, Page, Quentin Johnson, Amir Hall, we go into a year on defense probably feeling as good as we felt in a while, as good. Part of that's the continuity with Wink. Part of that's what everyone saw, even in the bowl game without a lot of those guys. And I think we saw a little bit more of that in the spring game. So this one's a lot of positives. We're going to go kind of by position group what we saw, call out a couple players, call out a couple plays, kind of give our reaction to highlights, lowlights, and then kind of opportunities heading into summer. And we're going to do that starting with, where else would you start? The defensive line.
But before we start on the defensive line, the spring game is always tough because let's say the offense torches the defense.
Yeah. We
leave the big house going, oh, my God, we're in trouble. Or do we say, oh, my God, we're not in trouble? Like, it's a weird thing, right?
It's relative to expectation. Like we are returning a defensive coordinator, all the defensive scheme, and a lot of talent. If the defense was behind the offense with a new coordinator and a new quarterback and new receivers and new running backs, we'd say that doesn't feel right. Now, there have been some years where the opposite's true, where everyone's coming back on offense. I think it's got to be relative. Your freak out level should be relative to how you ended last year in those position groups, is my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's a split squad too, so it's really tough to make. But I think we saw enough of players, especially the guys that are returning, that we have some thoughts on the players that are going to be.
I think if Brady Norton was pancaking Derek Moore play after play, we'd probably be like, "What's going on here?" So
I think I might say, "Damn, Cal Poly was better."
There you go.
That talent level of Cal Poly was better than we thought.
We love Brady Norton. So don't worry about that.
No, Brady. He's pretty funny guy. He basically gets the Ohio State rivalry. Did you see? He said
"fuck" on a University of Michigan athletics interview. That's awesome.
I know. Are we allowed to? I guess we can say that because we're not official. But
fuck.
Yeah, they like.
There you go.
Like what they didn't offer. They offered him late after Michigan did, and he said, "Fuck those guys."
Oh yeah.
Love it. He gets the rivalry.
He's in. He's one of our guys. But yeah. So D line. Yeah. I mean, I would share. Well, go ahead because it's the same. It's going to be the same impression.
I think. First of all, it may not be as good as last year. Look, we lost two first round, defensive linemen. But it's deep. I mean, I'll start on the edges. I mean, we have playmakers all over the roster. It's almost like we're becoming Edge University in terms of like the talent level that we produce, or have been producing to the NFL. So we've got Derek Moore, who he's got like all American potential. I mean. Former top 100 recruit. He had a huge game against Bama when the other guys are sitting out and ready to go to the pros. He steps in. He played a lot anyway because we rotate in. But that guy, he's going to have a hell of a year. Got TJ Guy on the other side. He had a great spring. Apparently, his weight's up to 225.
255 probably.
255. Yeah. 225. That'd be like after a flu. And then. Gosh, there are a lot of names, almost too many to name. But Dom Nichols is one that he balled out in the spring game, and the coaches have been his name has been mentioned a lot.
Yeah, we've heard a lot.
And then Cam Brandt, one of our earlier interviewees on the podcast, super smart guy, kind of a gentle giant. Love watching him, and he's going to have he flashed last year. He had a good game against Bama in the bowl game.
Oh yeah.
So we got. A lot of play. Those are the names that I think are going to rotate in at edge, but the future's bright. Then those guys are Dom and Cam are still young. We got Nate Marshall, Julius Holly, Devin Baxter,
Go for it.
Edo Kapai. Man, I always mess that up.
Edo Kapai, maybe?
All I know is that guy is like he ought to be on the basketball team. I swear to God. Or a tight end.
We got to get him a different number. I think he rocked 88 in the spring game. And 88 for him, I think he's like 6'7", and he's still kind of growing into his, but probably adding weight to play the position.
Right.
it did look like it did look a little out of place. I think if you give him a big guy number, give him like maybe let him wear 91 from Cam, it would add 20 pounds. I think a number with a 9 in front of it would give him a solid 15 to 20.
I hope that guy has good hip bend because he's a tall dude.
Knocked down a lot of passes.
Yeah.
And Keyshawn Bennett, I think probably Keyshawn Bennett transferred, I think, after the spring game.
Had a good spring game.
We didn't mention
going
him.
to UCLA.
Yeah.
He got his degree. I just saw, he graduated. So good on him. Look, he was here a long time. Got his degree. Awesome. So nobody can ever take that away from him. And he's going to finish his dream of playing football at UCLA.
But probably points to the fact, my guess is part of that is Nichols and Brandt have started to separate from the pack as the sort of guys behind Guy and more.
Right.
And wish Keyshawn the best. I think we'll see him next year. We play UCLA?
Think so.
No,
we play USC.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Well, so we might not.
No, who knows? Maybe in the championship. But first of all, let me a side rant on the transfer portal and things like that when you mentioned Keyshawn.
Not about Keyshawn.
No, not about Keyshawn.
Okay.
I just hate when fans, quote unquote fans of Michigan, a guy like I saw this with Keyshawn. He enters the portal and then on social media, like somebody who thinks they're being smart and funny goes, "Who?" ? It's like, Jesus, the guy's been around a long time. If you don't know who Keyshawn Bennett is, you're just not. You haven't followed the program. And I bet that guy knew who Keyshawn was. He was just like, oh, he wasn't a starter, so we're not losing anything. You know what? It's bullshit. These guys work so hard. He got his degree. He never did anything wrong at the university. It's like either say nothing or wish him well. The other one, that's one theme, and the other theme is, he's scared of competition. And so it's like, well, wait, guys, we had a ton of people transfer in to Michigan. Are you thinking? And everyone says, "Oh, I'm glad I got that guy." Okay, we got the Metcalf brothers, or we got Troy Bowles on defense, or Damon Payne and Trey Williams. Are you going to say, "Oh, they were scared of competition at the school they left"?
Yeah.
I mean, so it goes both ways. So anyway, when a guy transfers,
just shut up.
Just good. You don't either say like your parents used to say nothing. If you can't say something good, just don't say anything. I mean, these guys work too hard. Anyway.
Also, I bet there's a really strong positive correlation between the people who leave those comments and the guys who wear the "Bitch, I'm a Wolverine" shirt. The ones you buy off the vendors.
And the ones that are still over the age of 30 and in their mom's basement.
Yeah, well, the basement, and I think, if you see the "Bitch, I'm a Wolverine" shirt.
They're on their mom's internet plan and probably on their mom's cell phone plan.
And they're bashing Keyshawn Bennett.
Yeah. That's bad look.
But good.
Well, get back to that. So the edge.
By the way, Barham is now in this group. I don't know how defense works.
They
I think
say
so.
that. I don't know if he's going back and forth. I mean, we'll find out in the fall.
It's like whenever the Ravens would do that, there'd be a guy who is standing up, but he was on the line, and I guess that's technically, this is where the football aficionados will roast me, I guess he's technically an edge now. I've also noticed, by the way, I saw this in the NFL draft, they don't, edge is like an official position.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Yeah.
So he's an edge.
He's a talented guy. Wherever Wink wants to put him on the field, that's cool with me.
You want to talk about the big guys?
Edge is great. Let's talk about the big guys, because for those of us that are old enough to remember the Rich Rod days, remember Rich Rod, he was going to go with these lighter weight guys. We had Ben Mason playing nickel at
Ben Mason was under Harbaugh, but
but Rich Rod, he had no heavy guys, right?
Yeah, I think I don't know what that was about.
We got a couple transfers in maybe, but right now we have a ton of guys at 310 plus. I think we've got 7 guys. I think when we count 7 or 8 guys that are. It's just good to have run stoppers in the middle. And we rotate a lot. I mean, those guys probably get tired and they get beat up a lot. Lots of rotation, a ton of experience. We got 4 guys with 17 years collective experience, I think, when you add it up. Benny, Ike Awuna, Damon Payne from Bama, and Trey Williams from Clemson. I love that Benny stayed for his 5th year. He probably would have been drafted based on the experts. He decided to stick around for his 5th and final year, which is awesome.
It is awesome.
And so those 4, that interior is strong. And then you got the younger guys. You got Trey Pierce, who's growing it, and Etta. And then there's several other guys. But I think in terms of guys that played last year, they got some experience. We're going to see more. Etta and Pierce backing up, rotating in with those other 4. I think this interior, it's not going to be as strong as having Graham and Grant, right? I get that, but it's going to be strong. It's going to be strong enough to beat the teams we need.
Yeah, like getting weaker doesn't mean it's a weakness. Like I think it'll still be very much a strength. By the way, did you skip Poly because you were scared to pronounce it?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna, Poly. I know it's not pale, but
it's a big group, and they did.
He
by the way,
he had a pretty good spring game.
Good spring game. Weird. By the way, I was watching the game back. 2 defensive holding calls. I think both on Pierce. It was weird. I looked at them. I guess they were holding, but it was almost like someone told the ref, like, "Hey, you got to watch." So that was odd. You don't see those very often.
Do you think that was Sharon's way? Was he trying to, like, did he go to the ref and whisper, like, I'm trying to discipline this guy, like throw some like?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird. It was very strange, and they were
almost back to back. I feel like
hardly ever hear defensive holding like on a defensive lineman. It seems like
he's probably holding the guy who's pulling. But
defensive line again, edge, interior. It's going to be a strength of the team. Another strength, quite honestly, is the linebacker room. It's another deep room. We got like 10 guys. We got Barnum and Hausman back in their final year, so a lot of experience there, a lot of talent. Kind of the rotation guys in, second deep, probably are Rolder, who's got a lot of experience, got a lot of run last year. And then Cole Sullivan. He was a spring standout. Big kid, 6'3".
Partly because of how big he is.
Yeah, he's like 6'3", 225.
Super tall, so he definitely stands out when he's in there.
Kind of that blue-collar attitude, very athletic. And so I think a lot of great potential there, to step in when Barnum and Hausman are rotating out. I'm trying to think. Cole Sullivan's a young guy too. I mean, I think he's in his second.
Cole is. Rolder's not, right? Rolder's played. I think this is his 4th year.
Rolder, I think, is in his final year.
That's awesome
in terms of eligibility. And then Jaden Hood is also in his final year, I believe, and experienced. So the linebacker group, kind of frankly, just much like the front guys, it's deep.
Yeah, saw a little bit of Chase Taylor as well.
True freshman.
He was in coverage against Hoffman on some of those plays, but he'll keep getting better. One critique I'd have, I do wish we would have seen more from Jaden Hood. We've seen him show up in big moments in games, like he got some real run at the end of the Ohio State game last year, and so he does come in big moments. It feels like, but. Don't remember hearing his name called even once during the spring game. I don't even know if he played. So
I know a guy that didn't play was Troy Bowles, transfer in.
Was that injury or just?
I don't know. And he's an unknown. I mean, highly rated guy. Then coming out of high school, transfers in, and so he could be in the mix. So again, these names were
the one guy who did flash was. I'm gonna have to check my. I've gotten bold pronouncing names here, but
you're gonna go after Owasso Boateng.
Owasso Boateng, who did play quite a bit. Yeah,
well, I mean,
a couple nice tackles.
It's a spring game, right? A lot of freshmen getting, because we know what we have in terms of linebackers, and given that we just mentioned all that experience, so I would be surprised if Taylor and Owasso Boateng get a lot of play in the season, just because they're freshmen, but. And we've got so much depth, but who knows? I'm sure the coaches will put the best guys out there. I mean, their job depends on it. So, but I suspect we're in good shape with the guys we mentioned, the kind of the first 4 that we mentioned there.
The only concern is Cole Sullivan too tall? People are saying. People are. That's
I don't know who those people are. It wasn't a concern of mine.
Okay. No.
But what do you want to make him an edge?
No. Yeah. Just is he too tall?
You want to convert him to something? I don't know.
Yeah.
No. He looked really good at linebacker, so we're going to leave him there.
Okay.
Cornerback. I'd say depth. Having depth is a luxury sometimes, but depth is a bit of a concern here. And when I say depth, it's inexperience. I guess experience. May be the better way to think about it. Because right now, I think the starters are Zeke, who I thought improved. Another one of our guests, so we're somewhat partial to Zeke. Great guy. Had a lot of fun talking to him. He's improved. He improved through the season when they put him after moving him to cornerback. I think he held his own there. Ohio State game.
Yeah, more than held his own.
Yeah, like you said, he put the guy in a milk carton, which is a way of saying like it's a missing. For us, some people may not get that reference, but that's where they used to.
Do they make? Is all milk? They don't make milk cartons.
Well, I don't know. I haven't been to a school in 60 years or so I wouldn't know. But they used to put those little missing children thing on the side of the little cartons of milk you got.
Right.
But anyway, Zeke did great. Jair Hill, is the other starter, I think, on the other side right now. The backups, I mean,
who got some love in a mock draft, by the way, to be
I
first
saw
round.
That first
yeah, I know.
round thing.
It's probably because his.
Hey, I hope they're right.
He also was part of the. I could not for this. I was watching this year's NFL draft. The amount of times I heard about Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State, it's like he's not. First of all, he's not even in the draft, right? And he had 4 catches for 30 yards against us. You hear nothing about the guys who just blanketed him, and he'll include it. Now, which version of Jair Hill are you going to get? Are you going to get the number 20 version of Jair Hill, or the Doghouse 35 number 35 version with no name on the back? So, I think we're going to get the number 20.
Yeah,
version.
I mean, look, he's still a relatively young guy, and it seems like there's maybe some things that he needs to continue to focus on in terms of being on the field, but I think we'll get the best version of him. And
that is just the craziest punishment, though. Like, you can't wear 20; you're wearing 35.
Yeah, and
damn it, coach!
And 35.
How could you do this to me?
It made him look slower. I just think.
No, 20 is a fast number.
Yeah. So, but hey, all joking aside, I think Zeke and Jair Hill are our starting cornerbacks at the start of the fall.
Lockdown. Good job.
The backups, I mean, look good. They're young, right? We got Shamari Earls. I mean, top 100 recruit. I mean, 6'2", athletic, early enrollee, played in the game, looked great.
Looks good in number 2, by the way. Speaking of numbers,
that is a good number. Yeah, and then Edmund, who also had a good spring game, right? I mean, now we've got when I look at the
that one
list,
shouldn't be a surprise to fans because Josiah Edmond played quite a bit last year too,
right?
So
and we've got there's a lot of young guys at cornerback. So Jeremiah Lowe, we've got in there.
Had an interception.
Yep, and Elijah Dotson. The Tevis Metcalf. So I'm going to miss a few names, but again,
you think depth is a concern, or depth is just the depth is a bunch of younger, high potential. Like you just need.
Well,
to
when
see
you look at the
more,
number of games logged or snaps played, I mean, once you take out Zeke and Jair Hill at cornerback, give me a name. There ain't many.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Caleb Anderson transfers in. He's got some experience, but I mean, other than that, there's just not a lot of experience.
It just feels like, with Wink's system, we've had a really good track record of getting production quickly from like I think about, I shouldn't say Wink's system, but like we bring in, oh my gosh, Josh Wallace, right?
Right.
Immediate contributor.
Oh, yeah. I know. That's like his.
You bring in Amir Hall.
Yeah.
Immediate contributor.
Yeah. And by the way, Amir Hall, both guys came from they weren't coming from SEC blue blood programs when they transferred in, right?
I mean, say what you want about Albany.
It is not a blue blood SEC program or Big Ten program. No, your point is, by the way, how much fun was it talking to Wink after the spring game? That guy, that dude.
No,
we want to have a beer and pizza with him.
For sure.
I mean, that guy is hilarious.
And I've actually seen him at a watering hole, and I won't disclose which one because I don't want to blow up his spot, but I get the vibe he'd be cool to hang with. Also, he's I just think he's – look, I was actually probably with a lot of Michigan fans who were getting frustrated early in the season with what did feel like some insistence on doing certain things that seemed to be counterproductive. And then when you hear him talk and you see the results at the end of the season, you're like, this guy knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And I actually like that he does not give a shit about what people write and people who know nothing about football care. What people that know nothing about football care about him or his system. And he was pretty honest. He said, look, the players had to perform. Like the players had to get in the right spots and buy in. And guys like Zeke and Jair show that they did because they locked down Ohio State. They locked down Alabama, whatever that dude's name was.
And you said this earlier in one of our podcasts. It's not like Ohio State. Everyone think that some people that didn't look at the game maybe or the narrative.
Biggest mistake.
They didn't throw the ball. They threw the ball more.
Up until the playoff, I knew that it was either the first or of the 13 games they had played up to that point. The number of pass attempts in the Michigan game was either the most or the second most of any game that season. So they were trying. I think Howard had 30-something pass attempts. He sucked, but it didn't mean he wasn't throwing it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah. So the cornerback thing is, again, we've got some like highly rated guys.
Was Josiah Edmond highly recruited?
I think I don't think he was a 4-star.
Okay.
Not to say he wasn't. That doesn't mean he was. I'm sorry. I'm sure he was highly recruited. I know Earls was like.
Yeah, that's
the diamond of that. From a top 100 recruit. I mean, and so not a surprise that he's showing out. Again, I think the starters are probably locked in there. There's still a lot of football to be played before the fall or practice. But moving to safety, we lost. We have no returning starters at safety. We lost Quentin Johnson and Makari Page. Quentin Johnson gave us 6 good years, and that field general back there. First of all, we love talking to that dude on the podcast. He is super smart, and you could tell he was kind of maybe. It was nice having a guy like that in the back end. Makari probably gave a concussion to Howard in the Ohio State game. I think that was one of his tackles, right? And those guys are gone. So, but it's an intriguing position battle. I wouldn't say it's a concern. It's just intriguing. We could easily have 5 guys rotating as safety. I mean, I'm looking at Mason Curtis, 6'5". I mean, are you worried that he's too tall? By the way,
I was going to make that comment. Yeah,
you worry about height because you're not over 6 foot. Are you just
part of it's that? Yeah, part of it's that.
I'm sorry about that.
Part of it is
that's your mom's fault, by the way, because I'm 6'1", so that's on your mom,
probably
not
6
me.
feet. No, I think it's a center of gravity thing, right? Like the lower your hips are, the faster you can turn. That's a true thing.
Okay.
No, I don't worry about Mason Curtis being too tall.
I mean, we got Mason Curtis, Brandon Hillman.
I do worry about Brandon Hillman hitting too hard. No,
I like Hitman Hillman. I don't know if it's been picked up. I haven't seen any T-shirts on it. Feel free. I haven't copyrighted it, Hitman. All joking aside, he did have a couple. I think he had a couple targeting things at one time. We got T.J. Metcalf, who was a starter at Arkansas, and then that's 3. And then I mentioned there are 5 guys rotating. There could be even more. I don't want to preclude some of the younger guys, but I mean, we got some question marks. With guys have a lot of experience, but they're returning from injury. We got Rod Moore, who that guy is awesome. I love seeing that guy around the program. Hopefully he can return and play. He's had some big plays in his career, and he's great on the sideline. I mean, at Ohio State, he was jumping around. I love watching him. And then Jaden Mangum transferred in from Michigan State. He's been battling an injury apparently, but got a ton of experience. He was a starter there. So those 5 guys, could easily, rotate in at safety. So again, we lost the starters, and Curtis and Hillman got snaps last year, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, one young guy who you didn't mention that was impressive and caught a couple plays was Jordan Young.
Yep.
There was a big 4th down. Fourth down earlier in the game. He came in and stuffed the run. By the way, we didn't for Earls, and this is back to cornerback. Yeah. Not just like a flashy cover guy. Like he seems pretty willing to step up and hit people too. Played tough in the run in the spring game too, which is awesome. Yeah, nothing more to say. I wish Mangum is the one that I don't know if it's the same injury or if it's just unlucky. Like it's just got the bug. Would obviously love to come in and help support the 2 deep. As we get to, this is a spoiler alert as we kind of talk about awards. I thought the Metcalf brothers. I know they don't exactly play the same position, right. TJ and Tavis, but I thought they were good, like up for the challenge. Even the little one who's even the younger one who's didn't have as much experience as TJ, I thought played really well, had the interception against Bryce. So you used the right adjective. Unlike left tackle, which I think is
a
concerning,
right?
Safety, which is our equivalent kind of question mark-ish on defense, is more intriguing because it seems like if you were to snap the line right now, you'd roll with TJ Metcalf and Mason Curtis. Okay. Metcalf's played a lot. Curtis.
Oh, you have Metcalf over Hillman?
Yeah.
Just because of the experience?
And just okay. watching the spring game. I think Metcalf's a pretty versatile player. He also played a lot. It seems like he had a couple nice breakups in coverage. I would say more of a push, and I'd say in the 2 deep, you'd have Hillman and, gosh, at this point, probably, I don't know what Moore's obviously, if Moore comes back, he'll start. I'm just sort of a question mark. probably Mangum. I don't know if Mangum's healthy. And then I guess it's Nico Andrighetto.
Yeah, well.
Who also had a good game. So
Did Nico play a cornerback or safety?
Safety.
Okay.
Safety.
So, it's interesting when you look at
to answer your question, I think it's Curtis and Metcalf as of right now, with Hillman kind of coming in off the bench to kill
for
people.
fans that are geeks about kind of scholarship distribution and who's where in their eligibility. If you look at the interior guys and the edge and linebacker, we have a lot of tenure. So defensive line, guys in their final year that I believe their final year, and sometimes this is hard to track between redshirt and medical, and we're done, I think, with the COVID exception, which some guys got 6 years, but we all know there's some guys playing.
So we're old up front, young in the
Benny, Awuna, Payne, and Williams are in their final year. Derek Moore, T.J. Guy at edge are in their final year. At linebacker, Hood, Rolder, Houseman, Barnum, final year. But then you go in the back end, you go in the secondary.
Just Moore, right?
Moore and Caleb Anderson. Transfer in. But other than that, everybody would have at least another year after this season. And now, who's to say? Look, if Zeke Berry is on the draft boards and
Jair Hill, first rounder,
they might decide to take off. But in today's world with NIL and upcoming revenue sharing, you never know. So.
In the spring game, there were a couple deep balls. None of them hit. You got to see a couple guys in coverage. A lot of Earls and Edmond and some of Jeremiah Lowe, who we didn't talk about. Thought they handled it just fine. But the MVP, I think, of the whole thing, this is of the spring game, was Dominic Nichols, I think. I want to say he had like 4 sacks. I think he had 3 in the first half. Put a couple different guys on skates. He is not, if you followed the program –
yeah,
it shouldn't surprise you because he played a lot in the bowl game. He actually had a big standout spring, I think, last time. He was a highly coveted. Like Notre Dame, I think, really wanted that guy. He may have even decommitted from Notre Dame, right?
Trying to remember. Good question. Don't remember.
But it was Nichols, I thought. And like Brandt last year, like Nichols this year, the edge is a demanding is a demanding position. You got to rotate guys in. It's awesome to have Nichols and Brand coming behind Guy and Moore. What a luxury. You call it, Edge U.
Yeah.
Hutchinson, Ojabo. I think Mike Morris got drafted pretty high. We had Quiddy Pay before that. A lot of dudes.
A lot of guys. So we're in good shape.
And biggest surprise?
Yeah.
Metcalf brothers. Both of them.